Paramedics are calling for help. They're overwhelmed by the number of calls they're getting, especially in rural Colorado. They took those concerns to the Capitol, where agencies that have a good amount of funding and others that don't came up with a solution. Here's Anusha Roy.
It's been a tough few years for paramedics, with the number of calls going up, including through COVID.
Denver paramedics this year, we're going to run about 125,000 calls this year.
But that's just the start.
More people are calling 911 faster than our city is growing.
There's more traffic, more time spent on scene as people have been asking more questions about their care, and high rises impacting response times.
It used to be pulling up to a front of the house, is now pulling up to the front of the house, going through a foyer, waiting for an elevator to get up to the 7th, 8th, 12th floor.
Then there are hospitals that are full, and at times paramedics are waiting for several minutes for an available bed.
Of the 12 of the past 14 years, we've met those response time metrics that we target. But there are years that we've struggled because of the growth and some of these challenges.
Are we in one of those years right now?
Yes, it is.
And that's the stress on Denver Health Paramedics, the state's busiest EMS service with a different set of resources than in rural Colorado. The calls for help there are going up as well.
People utilizing the amazing backcountry in Colorado, and then people got hurt or got stuck in the backcountry. And so EMS was actually, and backcountry search and rescue teams were busier than they ever have been over the last few years.
But as Democratic Senator-elect Dylan Roberts heard during testimony, some areas have one ambulance or share one with a neighboring city or county.
We're waiting an hour, maybe even 2 hours for a heart attack response or for an emergency response in the backcountry.
Colorado is also the only state in the country that does not have a state-level regulatory system for ground ambulances.
There's no regulatory oversight. There was no consumer protection.
So an idea was born, debated, and then passed into law that utilizes that last point. It requires ambulance operators to be licensed by the state and meet state requirements. Those applications and licenses will come with a fee. That money will then be pooled to help under-resourced departments and afford more resources, which is anticipated to reach mostly rural Colorado departments.
So everyone I was talking to said that paramedics in rural Colorado, they're doing good work. They're just doing the best they can with the resources they have. So the idea is that every county will have its own ambulance or maybe multiple ambulances. They'll have more money to hire more paramedics and the medical supplies. The question is, will those fees cover that cost? And the task force, Kyle, is still working out those details. So we don't have those numbers yet.
The problem is so acute in rural Colorado. But you were telling me that even in Denver, we have a situation where the number of calls is outpacing just like the population growth.
Yeah, and the chief was saying that one of the reasons could be that people don't always know how to access care, but what they do know is 911. So they really want to keep utilizing things like the STAR program that connects you to behavioral health help, nursing hotlines to figure out, what care can we get people that may not always require an ambulance, the police, as well as the fire department. Yeah,
you wonder how many municipalities will go to that model where they kind of triage 911 calls and say, I'm sorry, you don't need an ambulance, you need to go to urgent care, you need this or that. Anusha, thank you.